going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Say It in 4, where we give you guys 4 unpopular opinions on 4 different topics in 1 minute each. This week, we got a lot of crazy material, a lot of controversy. And one thing I like to talk about just to start it off is, talking about friends, right? Everyone gets frustrated. Everyone has, they talk a little bit crazy sometimes when they're not in those spaces. But Charnetta, when your friends are venting to you, do you think they're venting out of frustration or they're venting because they want you to solve their problems?
I have friends where it's a little of both, because one friend, like my best friend, she's like, Charnetta, I didn't ask your opinion. I just need you to listen. I'm like, okay, sassy. But but then I have, other friends who are like, so what do you think? So I just kind of try to sit back and listen and wait now for my opinion to be asked, because I did realize that I am kind of have a problem solving nature. So I'm always trying to like, oh, well, you should, type of thing, offer my opinion where maybe it's not always wanted. But,
right.
I feel like sometimes like friends, they'll ask you things that they already know. And then when you tell it to them, then they're like, oh, I want you to listen to me. I don't want you to give your opinion. Just listen to me. But it's like, hey, no, you need to hear what I'm telling you right now. And then most of the time, they don't even want to listen at all. They don't even want to take your advice.
I think that people are trying to be heard. I think a lot of people are going through things. People are looking for other people to lean on. Sometimes people need advice. So, I do think that people are genuinely looking to be heard. Sometimes some people just don't have an outlet. Mental health is huge, especially now more than ever, right? And so, sometimes people can be looking for you to just solve their problems by, complaining and nagging about it. But I think a lot of people are going through different things, and they're just looking for somebody to just talk to sometimes.
No, I feel like there's a quote and they say you get what you allow, right? So you have to set standards for your friendships. I know when I'm talking to my friends, a lot of the times I already know what I need to do, but I'm looking for confirmation. Because sometimes you can overlook things and you could think somebody thinks this way of you, or you could think somebody's telling you information and you might interpret it different. But I know for me, you have to set boundaries. If you're the kind of person that's always enabling somebody, they're going to always want to keep trying to come at you. They're going to always want to reach out to you. They're going to always want to try to find a way that they can get to you. If you set those boundaries from the beginning, like, hey, I don't want to hear about your drama today. I don't have the time. If you can't relate to me, if you're like, here's the problem. A lot of people are not on my level. Not to say all my friends, but some of them are not on your level to understand your challenges. So it makes it very difficult to maintain those kind of relationships where it's like, yo, you don't understand how I feel. I got like 10 meetings today and I'm telling you that I'm having a hard day. And it's like, you have no clue of what I'm going through. So it gets hard with that sometimes too.
And then I think you got to be careful not to get burnt out by your friends' problems as well. Because when they're sharing whatever with you, you take that onto your plate and then you're trying to give advice. But then you got 5 other issues over here that you got to deal with.
Right.
Right.
You solving a problem.
Yeah. I think though, like when you have people that always ask your opinion, that says something about you. And so in a good way, so you gotta kind of, accept that as well and help, but take the time to fill yourself up, because you can't continuously pour into other people and then, not have nothing left to give or to sustain yourself. So you gotta meditate, pray, get advice from other people, whatever, just to keep yourself balanced. Because when you're giving, you need to be filled too. So
don't get me wrong.
That's why people get exhausted.
Don't get me
they're
wrong.
not filled
burnt
out
out
themselves.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there who I feel like they do complain as well. They do want people to solve their problems because they might be lazy, right? They just don't want to do it. They don't want to do anything. But I think when you're able to really get through to a person, you can really try to decipher whether or not that's something that's really the objective, is to try to just get you to take care of their problems, or they just really want to be heard. Which leads me into talking about, something when it comes to, habits, people having bad habits, right? Bad habits can be a problem long-term. Sometimes it can be a problem short-term. Let me ask you, Chanel, do you think having bad habits can have an impact over the course of your future?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They say you are what you eat, right? So if you eat in McDonald's, Wendy's, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, I mean, we just had Thanksgiving. You eating that every day, there's going to be some consequences later down the line. You know, if you keep eating oils and fats and all that, don't be surprised if you get diabetes. Don't be surprised if you got some kind of cancers. You have to understand that if you keep repeating the same thing and it's repetitive and you're not getting nowhere, I mean, it's a bad habit. Obviously, you're going to have to change what you're doing.
Yeah, and I tell a lot of my friends that you have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you'll change your habits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Until then, you're not going to change anything. And I think a lot of people, especially like in relationships, if they're with somebody, and I mean, it's crazy because we always talk about relationships and I'm not even in one, but like I've been single for a very long time, so I do a lot of work on myself.
Are you in a relationship? Oh, you're definitely in a relationship. Yes, you are.
Whoa.
Uber.
We're Uber. There you go. Yeah. But I think the problems with that, like, let's talk about some bad relationships when it comes to the habits. If, you know, the husband or the boyfriend is just constantly doing stupid stuff and then he comes back to his wife and then the wife accepts that, you're rewarding a bad habit and you can't do that.
Some people have, they do have, a lot of people have bad habits and that can develop over time. But I think in terms of like someone's future, if they can get over those habits, I don't think if they have a really bad habit in the early stages and they can figure it out long term, it won't have an impact. But if it's something that's drawn out, depending on the time, the severity of what they're doing, or what that problem is, like you said, eating bad, we know that over the course of a long time that can have an impact. But let's say someone's behavior, like you was just mentioning, right?
Yeah.
If it's just behavior and someone's like telling, you know, they're trying to figure it out, or they do make a change, or they find a way to be better. Do you think those people also deserve some type of like, okay, you know, they were able to make a change, and look at them different?
Well, the problem is this: a lot of people don't even know that they even have bad habits, right? So they just think that what they're doing is okay, but they don't realize that's a bad habit. So something got to happen where somebody's like, hey, what you're doing right here, it's just not okay. You know what I mean? But I think what your question is, you're saying, hey, like, do they get rewarded for that because they're changing, or what's the question? I'm trying to understand.
Yeah. So like, they're transitioning, right? So I don't think it'll have a long-term impact on them, right? I'm saying, I don't know if you agree, but I don't think it'll have a long-term impact on them if they can figure it out in the short term. Now,
most people don't. Most people don't, though.
So usually, when do you think the light bulb goes off for people? Does it have to be severe?
Well, like what Chanel just said, the moment they go to the doctor and the doctor's like, yo, you got to change your eating habits. That was too late, but you had the opportunity like 5 years ago, but you want to eat you want to eat the apple pies and stuff like that. You can't eat these apple pies like that.
I'll say this, Josh, and what you're talking about, I was thinking of like people that's been to jail, like a lot of the OGs that's been hustlers and gangbangers and, you know, committed illegal crimes and did bad things. And then a lot of times they turn over a new leaf. They did their time in prison and then it's like they're out, now they're released and now they're in the real world. And it's like, you know, I did my crime, but even like if they're applying for a job, they still, whatever they did in the past affects them. So there's people, you know, in life you grow, right? That's what we're doing from the time we're born to the time that we die. You understand? So I personally think that people do deserve a second chance, but their actions have to speak louder than their words. That's all I got to say.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think habits do have a lasting impact for the majority of people, but there's a small few out there. There are a small few out there who've gotten a lease on life. They've taken opportunity, like you just mentioned, to run with it. They try to do something a little bit different. So like while discussing that, you know, bad habits, people having a lot of nasty habits, which is why we're still in the midst of COVID. Bad habits, right? People at the top not taking care of things. Let me ask y'all, the government is getting ready to shut down in 2 days because there's the recess. We're about to get into that recess period for them. No stimulus.
Boy, they take more breaks.
Bad habits, no stimulus check from people at the top. What's going on?
Man, they got the best job. I don't know. They got high salaries. They got more vacations than anybody I know. paid vacations. It's crazy.
But they got bad habits. We just finished talking about the bad habits. I want to know why we can't get a stimulus check out of these and get some.
Because it's egos. And now you've got, we've got to wait till January for the Georgia runoff in the Senate. The Democrats, they're like hanging on to see, if they're going to get those Senate seats, and same with Republicans, they cannot come to agreement. Mitch McConnell wants to spend like $500 billion. Nancy Pelosi wants to spend $2.2 trillion. And that's a huge, it's a huge range, and they can't meet in the middle with anything. It's unfortunate, and the American people are suffering. Families are suffering because of it, because of egos.
Yeah, but Charnetta also, I'm down for a second stimulus, but when you seen on Instagram what they did with the money, like people on Instagram, that $1,200, they're buying Gucci. But it's many of them, right? So they're supposed to be paying their bills and stuff like that. They're out here buying Louis Vuitton and Jordans and everything else, but then you want to cry about a second stimulus. So Mitch McConnell and Pelosi are not going to give you constant stimuluses, so that way you can be out here buying Jordans.
No.
But
Look, it's
It's
doing what they set out for it to do, stimulate the economy.
Right.
These same people that can't hold water, as soon as they get it, they spend it. That's who you want to give it to, because they're going to put it back into the economy.
Right. And once again, that goes back to bad habits. So Pelosi and those guys know it goes back to that, where they know, like, yo, we're not going to keep on giving these guys $2,000 every month so they can go buy the new Jordans that's coming out.
That do be a problem for some people, but that's not
other countries that was doing. Canada, $2,000 a month.
$2,000 a month.
I'm saying? And their COVID situation is a lot better than here, and they were essentially paying people to stay home, and it lessened the spread, so.
But remember,
we got coronavirus out of control.
Yeah.
Every major city in the U.S. is on fire right now. L.A. to Boston to New York.
Well, why L.A. first, though? Why you say L.A. first?
Y'all on the news. LA's on the news. Y'all number one. Y'all COVID. Y'all got zombies of order over there. Y'all need the vaccine. The whole
man. We're joking about it, but I think, at the end of the day, $1,200 for the last 8 months is kind of a sad situation, though. What I mean? That's $150 a month. That's like terrible. Like, you can't do anything with that. That's crazy.
Nah.
That's not going to even put food on the table for 2 weeks for probably
barely
the average person, for average family. At the national, whatever the national income level is. They stopped telling us about the unemployment rate. We haven't heard about that. That's been a question mark number you don't hear about too often.
And with these shutdowns, it's going to go right back up. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the rich people don't care, right? We know that. So,
but something got to get done in Congress. I do think this is not up for debate. People need food, people need shelter, and many other things in Congress. I think they need to act now. I think Congress needs to act now. We've got
Pelosi's rich, McConnell's rich. They don't really care. And if we want to talk about rich people, look at the top 5 rich people that we have in the world right now. You think it's affecting them? They don't even care. The Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. That dude don't give away nothing.
Billion.
Right.
And he don't give away nothing. Yeah. He give away $600,000.
Top 1% still raking in a ton of cash. I'm talking billions, and one might hit the trillion soon. Chanel, tell us, CEOs and execs, are they giving back more, or should they give back more? What do you think?
Listen, we could have this kind of conversation. They're going to do whatever they want with their money. If I was a CEO, and let me say it louder for the back, $116.8 billion. Jeff Bezos, from CEO of Amazon. Yo, you could give people them like 10,000 and people's good. Like, I'm not going to knock them, because there's a lot that they probably do that we don't know about. They don't really advertise all the times like, yo, this is what they do. I don't really see much of it. I'm sure they do donate. But it's like, yo, bro, come on. Like, you make all this money. You can't, help.
He donates to himself.
Business.
He donates to his own foundation.
Even his wife.
For climate change. $10 billion.
There are some reputable leaders out there.
Million.
There are some reputable leaders out there who've done it, who've done something in that capacity, like you said, given to the even at the lowest ranks of their company, the people cutting a check. I've seen it, and the amount probably not in the figure that we would want or expect, but
yeah,
I think they should be given more, as you said. If you're raking,
but why though? Why do you feel like they should be given more though?
Well, because the people at the bottom are the reason your business is surviving,
right? Yeah, because they needed something. That's why I provided them a service.
But your company doesn't.
I provided a service to them.
That's the whole point of the corporate tax breaks and all of that. That trickle down effect that we all say it does not work, but that's a prime example. It don't work if they don't give.
If they don't give, right.
And they getting all these tax breaks and all they doing is pocketing it, and it's not trickling down at all.
But here's the thing about rich people, see? Because like T, you said it with taxes, right? They're smart. They know if you make over a certain amount of money, you're going to be in a certain tax bracket. If you was to look up Jeff Bezos' income, technically he makes $86,000 something a year. Right. But his company grossed $116.8 billion. This is about the 4th, 5th time I said it.
Right.
That's how much he's really worth. But on the record, he's only making, so Amazon is really paying him $86,000 a year. So if we was doing the stimulus check, he would be qualified to get the stimulus check.
Right. Because
I think you're playing my man Jeff a little bit, because when I looked up his numbers, I got 184, and you talk about some 116, so you're shorting him a little bit. Jeff Bezos.
A lot of it.
So, yeah, that's a lot of it.
He's like around
$1 more. It could be $1 less. It could be $1 more, $1 less. They need to start cutting some checks. They need to start doing what's right. You got all of that money up there at the top, as Charnetta said, and these people are getting these tax breaks. The reason for that tax break is for you to funnel it back into the business to pay the people that keep that company afloat. And if you're not doing that, and these CEOs out here taking 30% of revenue or profits at the end of the year, then what are they really doing it for? What are they really doing?
I mean, you got Jeff, right? Who else do you got? You got Bill Gates. He's at 118. You got Elon Musk. He's at 143. You got Mark. He's at 104. Mark Zuckerberg is the guy from Facebook.
Right.
So, and we're talking about billion. This is not even million. We're talking about billion.
That's crazy.
Right. And I think over time they're gonna feel the pressure. I believe in taking care of people who serve and work for you. Without them, there's no your company for any of these people out here. And those people at the bottom, they owe them a little bit of something, even if it's a small token of appreciation to show, what,
bonus,
something here for you at the end of the year. We know this is a pandemic, this is a hard time. It's a tax write-off at the end of the day. They know it, I know it, and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump knows it.
For sure.
But Josh, real quick, so if you were Jeff Bezos sitting at 184, how much do you pay your people per hour?
Where we are right now, it's not about giving them the hourly rate. It's about just giving them something to make sure that people stay afloat. So obviously we know that every part of the company is a different salary, right? Different pay wage. But right now, Jeff Bezos can cut probably a $25,000 check to everybody in Amazon to help them people out.
$25,000?
I'm pretty sure he could. And it wouldn't be a drop in the bucket. But speaking on the topic of one of these cash cows, there's one of them you didn't mention that I like to talk about by the name of Elon Musk, right? The CEO of Tesla, he's being sued in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals right now by a woman by the name of Christine Ballon, who used to work for the company. She called her a criminal. Is that acceptable from a CEO to talk like that about somebody, whether it's an employee, especially someone that's an employee of their company?
Well, I feel like she tried to defame Tesla a little bit, talking about the mats of curling. What?
I said they fired her.
Well, yeah, they did because she was opening up her mouth, complaining. So if you want to complain, then you shouldn't work here. Simple as that.
She tried to look out for the company. If
right,
but what they told gas pedal.
What they told Christina is that, listen, that would be too expensive. Don't worry about it. But she wanted to go above everybody's head. If Elon, the CEO, said don't worry about it, then don't worry about it. That's it.
Nah, he didn't say. No, it was the other her boss that said.
But the email got to Elon first, and then it was like sent down to HR, and HR handled it. Yeah.
But he accepted the meeting. So why accept the meeting if you know what do you?
He didn't.
He didn't. HR handled it.
It was a setup.
Yeah, it was a setup, like they said. Yeah, HR handled it.
So let me tell you this: is that acceptable?
No.
That's acceptable because I think companies are with the open door policy, right? If especially someone of her caliber, the person who's making the battery, you know, for your automobile, you know, you wouldn't want to take their recommendation or something that they're saying into play in terms of what you're trying to do strategy.
Well, they said no. They said no. They said don't worry about it, and then she continued to climb up the charts and try to complain about it.
Well, originally, Elon sent out a company email saying, you know, we trying to make it better. Email me your ideas, even if it's going over your boss. And so that's what she did.
Right.
You know, and then her boss got on.
Which is the open door policy that a lot of companies have. Hey, if you don't get the answer from someone at the bottom, or someone's not interacting the right way, you could take it to the CEO, the manager, whoever is at the top of that food chain is the person you can go to. So why was that an issue that she did what's in the handbook, a policy that was implemented by him? Why is he mad about that? Why would he want to?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, once they had told her, like, yo, you know, don't worry about it, cut it out, you're done. It should have stopped there. That's it. Don't take it up to nobody else. Don't be complaining. Don't try to get other employees on your side, things like that, sending out tweets. If you don't like it, then don't work here. You know what I mean? So they pulled her up in a room and they said, yo, shorty, like, yo, if you don't want to be here, you ain't got to be here. You want to complain, then get out of here. That's it.
But I want to know, is that acceptable? I haven't heard, is that acceptable?
It is acceptable. I think it is.
Wow. That's acceptable.
I believe that it is. Like,
but if that was acceptable, then why they then put her on the blacklist? Now she can't even get hired by nobody.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
You know, now her whole career is ruined.
Right.
So
she got GoFundMe now because of it.
Now. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, what do you think the court should rule in this case? I think they should rule in favor of Ms. Bilon because this got to set a precedent. And with these CEOs, these corporate people, the way they talk to people, the way their policies are handled, I think that judge need to make an example out of Elon Musk. I think she need to hit him with a nasty fine, and make all of these CEOs and these executives aware that you can't be talking like this and treating people like that in the workplace.
She needs some sort of reparations, like her.
Well, she's suing for defamation, right?
They got to pay
for defamation of character, I guess. Yeah. Well, you know, she was a bad employee. We told her to cut it out. She just kept on going. We told her to be quiet about it. So that's it. That's done. No. You know, if you want to listen, I say this all the time because, you know, I run different businesses myself. If you want to be a difficult employee, find another place to work. That's it.
True.
This is not your place.
Help the company.
So what? If I said don't worry about it, if I get hit with a lawsuit, I get hit with a lawsuit.
I like that. I'll say this.
You see what I mean? But when you want to keep on climbing the charts and talking mess about everything after I told you, like, yo, I told you to just chill, go sip some tea and calm down. Like, be good with it.
But that's the thing. I don't think it got to Elon I don't think he made that call. I think they tried to stop her before it got to him.
Somebody probably executive or director level of the company. Because
they told her, they said, yo, this is what happened when you open up your mouth and you talk too much. You know what I mean? It's what happened.
But, hey, check this out. I'll say this. Rich people hate when you hit their pockets. You know what? Judge tapped that man's pockets, and I promise you he won't do it again. But I want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Say It in 4. Make sure y'all go comment, like, and subscribe on the YouTube channel, and we'll see y'all again next week.
Elon.